Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tricky Gym, home of the Tricky Gym. Can I take your order? Hopefully your order is for some Black Bolt and White Flare cards, because that is what we are going to be showing off today. Black Bolt, courtesy of the Pokémon Company International. I'm very excited about this. We've got some Black Bolt product to open today. Quite a bit of it, actually. We've got 2 booster bundles, so that's 12 booster packs right there. We've got sticker collection featuring Reuniclus. Yep, very cool. And so that's like 3 more booster packs right there. We've got the Elite Trainer box for all the Elite trainers out there, which comes with 9 booster packs? Heck yeah, 9 booster packs. Okay, yeah, so we got 9 booster packs there. And we got a guaranteed Thunderous art rare in that guy. We've got the binder collection, which is so tall that I can't actually fit it all on the camera, but it comes with 5 booster packs as well. So we got 9, 5, 14, plus 12. That's 26, plus 3, 29, plus 2 more, so 30 booster packs of Black Bolt, and I get 1 booster pack of White Flare, y'all. Check it out. 1 booster pack of White Flare. Let's freaking go, dude. I didn't know that I was going to be getting any White Flare, because you had to pick a side when Pokemon was handing out the product. You had to pick a side, either Black Bolt or White Flare, and I picked Black Bolt because I had to do it for my dude Zekrom. All right, because Zekrom, that's my boy right there. All right, since day 1. It's been my boy since day. I got multiple cameras. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, like still trying to figure all that out. Okay, but Zekrom has been my boy since the very beginning. I mean, I started playing the game with Noble Victories, so oh my gosh, we got a little streamception going on here. I'm gonna there we go. Now we're good. But yes, I started with Noble Victories. Noble Victories was my very first competitive set. I mean, I kind of collected my whole life, but I started playing the game in Noble Victories, and that's when Electric came out, and now Electric's back. Same old Electric, the same exact Electric, but you can't play it. You can't play the old Electric. That's kind of blowing my mind. You can't play the old Electric, despite the fact that it's the same exact Electric, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, Electric's back. Tynamo better than ever. That's right. They power crept Tynamo, ladies and gentlemen. They gave Tynamo 10 more hit points. Okay, so Tynamo has 10 more HP and free retreat. 40 hit point Tynamo with free retreat. Previously, if a Tynamo had free retreat, it could only have 30 hit points. That's as far as the technology went. And if it had 40 hit points, that meant it was fat, so it had a retreat cost of 1. But now, Tynamo has finally genetically evolved to the point where it has free retreat and 40 hit points. Can you believe it, folks? I cannot. So, very, very cool. Thank you, Brandon, for getting the prediction started over on Twitch, and some thank yous are in order as well on Twitch. Yo, thank you guys so much for the love and the support. I appreciate it. We've got Lambuerto with the Prime sub in the 62 months. King Jester with the sub in the 41 months. Chicken Strip with the sub in 76 months. Seymour, you guessed it, Biscuits with the 55 months. Daver, the 59 months. Brandon Alaskan Hero with the tier 3 in the 80 months. Absolutely amazing. And Lance as well with the 72 months. Absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for the love. Hopefully you guys are all having a nice week. Very exciting week, mind you. This is a very exciting week. A lot of really dope stuff. First of all, we've got Black Bolt, White Flare. Boom. Okay. Then we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's right. IGN gave it a perfect 10. I'm going to play the crap out of that game this weekend. We've also got a new Alex G album. Pitchfork gave it an 8.5. Instant classic. Alex G. Let's go. And I don't know. Anything else exciting going on this weekend? That all seems pretty exciting to me. That makes for a very exciting week here in the Tricky Jim Mahone household. Gotta say, yo, what's up, Mellow Magikarp? With the raid, welcome everybody from Mellow Magikarp's channel. We're getting into a Black Bolt opening. Then I'm going to do a set review as well. Thank you, Dragons Danglers, for that Prime sub and the 28 months. Gym Leader Challenge's anniversary is on Monday. How old is Gym Leader Challenge turning? Was GLC created in 2021? 2021? It must have been 2021. So what? 22, 23, 24, 25? 4? Gym Leader Challenge is almost going to preschool, guys. Oh my God, I'm so nervous to drop Gym Leader Challenge off at preschool. Man, that's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I can't believe that there's so many art rares in this set, honestly. Speaking of that, I need to get sleeves. Hold on. This is the box. This is the box where my perfect fits live. There we go. Excellent. We've got sleeves. All right, so Black Bolt time. After we open Black Bolt together and appreciate all of the new cards together, then we will transition the stream into a set review where I review the competitive viability of all of the cards from Black Bolt and White Flare that are even remotely worth talking about. I'm not going to bore you with a complete set review of every single Weedle and, I don't know, name a Gen 5 Pokemon, Patrat or something. Is Patrat Gen 5? Patrat's totally Gen 5. Yeah, not gonna bore you with every Cottony review, okay? Patrat is Gen 5, right? Please tell me Patrat's Gen 5. Patrat has to be Gen 5. I don't know why. Like, what's the first Gen 5 Pokemon? If you're thinking about like a weak Gen 5 Pokemon, what's the first? And I had to say Cottony because Whimsicott is my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. So obviously Cottony. So like, think of a weak Gen 5. What's the first weak Gen 5 Pokemon that comes to your mind? Pidove? For me, it was Patrat. Pidove. Yeah, what's the first? Lillipup? Okay. I'm saying Patrat was pretty solid, right? Is there like the first week? You can't say a legendary. Obviously, Zekrom and Reshiram are from Gen 5, but I'm talking about but I will talk about the Zekrom and Reshiram in the set review, of course. You can't say Joltik because Joltik just got like an incredible card printed. So you can't say I won't talk about every Joltik because Joltik is meta right now. So Joltik doesn't fit that, you know? Cubchew's a good one. Yeah, there's no good Cubchews out there. I'm saying it's literally Patrat. I'm not going to talk about every Patrat. The monkeys, everybody loves the monkeys, dude. Everybody. The Unova monkeys, everybody loves the Unova monkeys, dude. Many are saying that the Unova monkeys are cool. I actually am hoping that I pull the Simisage. That would be one of my chases. So let's talk about potential chases from the set. Let's talk about potential chases. Oh my goodness, I didn't even clip my nails. Oh my god, I'm so unprofessional and crusty. I need some lotion. Yeah, dude. The Unova monkeys are freaking goated. Everybody loves the Unova monkeys. Don't mind me. I'm just clipping this thumbnail real quick. Listen, it's not every day that like your hands are getting a lot of airtime, okay? I'm just saying, unless you're like a pack opener, of which I am not. So, you know, I don't wake up every day like, got to make sure that my nails are okay to be seen by hundreds of people. Like, it's not how I, you know. And I did yard work yesterday. At least I had the clippers professionally next to the, of course, well, I did learn early on that I have to keep clippers in the studio. Because, like, what if my nails are really gross? Then like you can't be doing that. You cannot be looking crazy while doing the pack opening on the nail front, right? And you can't be looking crusty either, which is why I always bring O'Keefe's working hands cream with me to all of my pack opening streams. It used to be Lubriderm. Friendship ended with Lubriderm. Now O'Keefe's hand cream is my best friend. You guys ever try clipping a baby's nails? I'm just saying, that's my job. That's one of the many jobs that have become a dad job, but like very early on I accidentally clipped my little dude's thumb once. Oh, I felt so bad, man. I made his little thumb bleed. Well, he was wiggling all over the place, and he's got such tiny fingers, you know. But that was like very early on. Okay, where I'm a pro at it now. There we go. All right. Shout out to the O'Keefe's hand cream there. Feeling great. All right. Feeling moist. Feeling trimmed. All right. Nails looking nice. Everything's looking good. All right, let's talk about chases. Chase cards. Cards that I'm looking for out of this opening. I really want the Simisage, okay? The Hitchhiking Simisage. That card goes crazy. All right, that thing is awesome. I also really want the Art Rare Simipour. Yeah, Art Rare Simipour. That card is also awesome. The Monochrome Zekrom EX. Yes. The Monochrome Zekrom. Yeah, we're gonna be locked in on opening the Monochrome Zekrom. And have you guys seen the I feel like We'll talk about that later. Have you guys seen the aura farming boat kid? I don't know why I can't stop thinking. I do know why. I know why I can't stop thinking about the aura farming The aura farming boat kid. I can't stop thinking about him because he's all over skateboard Instagram. Because everybody on a skateboard is now doing the aura farming. Have you guys seen this? He like lives rent free in my mind now. Have you guys seen it? Yeah, so I feel like oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah. All right. You guys have seen the aura farming boat kid, right? I don't know why I'm thinking about this kid right now. He's just oh goodness, you can't full screen a reel. Okay. Yeah, just press play, dude. Anyways, I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the pack opening. Let's do this thing. The monochrome Zekrom, she awaits me. Here we go. I'm gonna start things off with the Reuniclus blister. I've got some Reuniclus stickers here. Those are nice. Solosis, Duosian, and Reuniclus. Those are extremely handsome. Very, very nice. There you go. One of those. Knock yourself out. Okay. And then here is the art rare Reuniclus that you're guaranteed. Are you not impressed that I knew Duosian's name? Duosian is nobody's favorite Pokemon. Like, no shot, right? I imagine that Reuniclus is somebody's favorite Pokemon, but there's no way that somebody out there is like, oh yeah, Duosian is my favorite Pokemon. No, there are over 1,000 Pokemon. There's no chance that Duosian is your favorite. Duosian is literally my favorite. Me when I'm lying. Why are there so many liars right now? All the Duosian stands just decided to just wake up. Yeah, right. I will say, when you look at Duosian here, Duosian is definitely bringing, you know, a certain sassiness to the sticker pack that that the other guys are not bringing. So I have to say, Duosian is certainly kind of a cool looking fellow there. Okay, anyways, here is Reuniclus, art rare. It's got the Cellular Ascension attack. For each of your bench Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Stage 2 Pokemon that helps you evolve other Pokemon. That's just not a very good way to evolve your Pokemon, if I'm being completely honest. And then Evo Lariat, okay, does 40 damage plus 40 more damage for each of your evolution Pokemon in play. So the idea is to use Cellular Ascension to get a bunch of evolved Pokemon in play, and then Evo Lariat. I mean, this is the kind of thing that, like, Mamoswine is doing, right? I mean, like, or Torterra, right? Basically. Mamoswine, Torterra, sure. What makes Torterra good in Gym Leader Challenge format, which, by the way, this set review is going to include mostly standard talk, but it will also include Gym Leader Challenge talk. Gym Leader Challenge is a custom Pokemon TCG format, the most popular alternate format in the Pokemon TCG, where, you know, you can read all the rules at gymleaderchallenge.com. It's one of my favorite ways to play cards. But anyways, yeah, what makes Torterra so good in Gym Leader Challenge formats is that it's got 190 hit points. This thing is a weakling, 140 HP. Yeah, okay, so if you have, like, say you have a... Yeah, this card's not good. I'm going to stop talking about it now. Okay, let's move on and open some packs. this card, it's a nothing burger card, dude. I'm not gonna try and turn nothing burgers into something burgers, okay? It's not what we're doing here. Golet, Pawnyard, Free Retreat Dynamo, baby. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's go. This is the genetic apex of Dynamo, okay? This is Dynamo evolved over millions of centuries, okay? That's just a really long, millions of centuries? Good Lord. Yeah, that's, this is Dynamo evolved over millions of years, okay? It's got 10 more HP than the last Free Retreat Dynamo printed in 2011. Or 2010. Axew, all right. Excavalier, I got something. Darmanitan, I got something. Krokorok, holy smokes, they did the Pokeball Hollows. And there's going to be Master Balls in here and Art Rares. I can't believe that. That's kind of crazy. I gotta say, these Pokeball Hollows turned out really nice, actually. Like, these look really good. They look good, chat. They look good. All right, they do look good. Look how much nicer this reverse holo looks than this one. Pokemon, I love you, Pokemon. Thank you for sending me this product, but please do us all a favor and stop with whatever this reverse holo pattern is. Just please stop it. Yes, but this looks fantastic. Love that. This, no, please stop. And a Genesect EX, 220 HP. And it's got the Metallic Signal ability, which allows you to search your deck for up to 2 Metal Evolution Pokemon during a turn. Put them into your hand. That is a Oh, look at that. That's cool. Yo. All right. We see the reverse energy. This is neat. You know, I respect it for doing something different. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool for sure. It's unique. It's got like you can see the black and white checks there, but then it's also got the stripes. Loving it. Genesect, great hit to start things off. That's just pack 1, folks. We got 30 Black Bolt packs to open and 1 White Flare today. Amoga, Clink, Palpitoad, Electric, there he is with the Dynamotor ability. And you're not allowed to play the old Electric in your decks, even though they are the same exact card. This Electric allows you to attach basic lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. People are saying that the reason you can't play the old one is because it specifies basic lightning energy, though the old one is effectively still basic lightning energy. There are no special energy that count as lightning energy in the discard pile. Literally none. So, yeah. So, I mean, there you go. There are no energy that can count as a lightning energy in the discard pile other than basic energy. So, like, it doesn't matter. It's effectively the same thing. So, Electric, that's a good card. Bemusing Aroma. I love to be bemused by aromas. Pidove and Volcarona. Nice. Pidove. It's a cute looking card right there. But really, what I'm most excited about is to peep this new holo pattern. Okay, and we see this is what like your basic Black Bolt, White Flare energy looks like. Nice callback to the original black and white energies. I think those look nice compared to the reverse holo energy there. You know, you can see the difference. You got like that. Yeah. But this is what I really wanted to see. Something that we as a Pokemon community were robbed of, okay? Dang it, wrong camera. Something that we were robbed of, you know, I don't know, 15 years ago was the old black and white cards. They had yellow solid border. They had like the striped holo interior, but they didn't have the holographic borders. Now, the Japanese holo cards from the old black and white sets, they did have holo borders, but international cards had the ugly yellow borders with no holo. So we were all kind of robbed of these beautiful holo borders back in the day. But I'm really excited to see that that Pokemon has bossed up and done the hollow borders just like they do in Japan, and I think they look absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so this is a huge dub for sure, and I think Pokemon did a great job with the execution of these hollow cards. So yeah, that's awesome. Really excited about that. You know, Pidoof, you're cool, but honestly, I was really excited to see how they did the hollow pattern, and they look great. Wonderful. Pawniard, Minchino, Fungus Amoongus, Cubchoo, Pokegear got a reprint, Simipour, Unfazant, Prism Energy, Duosion, and Full Art Meloetta EX. 200 HP and the debut performance ability. If you go first, this Pokemon can use attacks during your first turn. Yo, that's kind of crazy. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Echoed Voice attack does 80 more damage. Holy cow, dude. This thing is nuts. It can donk? Yo. All right. This thing can donk. That's nuts. And then it ramps. It does 110 the following turn. And the crazy thing is it can use TMs on the first turn going first as well. So you could do turn 1 TM Evolution going first. You could go turn 1 Turbo Energize going first, right? It's pretty cool. This Pokemon can use attacks. Yeah, so like it can use any attack. It doesn't say it can only use the attacks on this card. It says it can use any attacks, right? So like that's pretty cool. So love that. Yeah, that's actually it's really neat card design. Honestly, for our three pack blister, we kind of owned there. Let's do the binder collection now. The binder is so big that I kind of have to show it off like dang it, dude, too many cameras. All right, like this. The binder collection is so big that the best way to show it off is with the face cam. Yeah, here we go. This binder collection, we get a thematic 9-pocket binder and 5 TCG Scarlet and Violet Black Bolt booster packs and a collector's card list. Let's go. Beautiful. Here's our binder. It's got pages in it. And a, nice logo on the back. Cool. Card list for all you completionists out there. Clang, Solosis, Audino, Venipede, another Electric, Goaded, Throw, another Tynamo, let's go, Tortuga, and Kyurem EX is our hit. It's got 230 hit points and the Blizzard Burst attack, 130 damage, 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. Holy smokes, that's crazy. So if your opponent has taken 5 prizes, you're doing 50 to everything. That's very destructive. And keeping in tradition with the older Kyurem cards, there's the Kyurem with Glaciate. It does 30 to everything for 3. Like, weirdly, somehow Glaciate is like probably still better than this EX card. But I mean, you could theoretically do a lot of damage at the end of the game. Maybe set up a board wipe situation or something. Fracture, Timpole, Sandile, Servine, Amoonguss, Cinccino, Fracture, Research, and another Hollow Volcarona. But I think I saw somewhere that Research has the old legality stamp on it, right? So like let's take a look at that. Research has got G on it. Meanwhile, all these cards have I. So the assumption is that all of the G stamped cards will rotate out of standard this upcoming year, which means that Research will rotate out of standard as well as Boss's Orders. That is that's what the streets are saying. That's what the streets are saying. And I believe the streets, folks. I do. I believe the streets. I think they will let Research rotate. Why not? Mix things up, you know? Prove to all the haters that you're not too cowardly to let Research rotate. Let it rotate. Well, and there's the new Lilies card that's coming out in the Mega Set, which is like a really powerful supporter card. You shuffle draw 8 if you have 6 prizes left, and then the rest of the game you shuffle draw 6. I mean, that card is just so good that it almost doesn't matter. Superior EX got 320 hit points, and the Regal Cheer ability, attacks used by your Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay. And then for a grass and 3 colorless energy, command the grass. We got any grass commanders out there in the chat today? Any grass commanders? Command the grass. 150 damage, 170 if you count the Regal Cheer ability. You can search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. All right. Pretty cool. No grass commanders in the chat? That's crazy. Nobody out there commanding the grass, huh? Sandile, Eligim, Unpheasant, Prism Energy, Darmanitan, Rufflet, Scoliopede, and the Clang Man himself, Kling Clang. 150 hit points, nice hollow pattern there. Looks great. The Gear Coating ability, all your Pokemon that have any metal energy attached take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so you can make your guys real beefy with Kling Clang. And then Hammer In does 120 damage. Typical metal Pokemon fare. Certainly what we would expect. Fracture, Venipede, Servine, Rufflets, Energy Coin. Flip 2 coins. If both of them are heads, search your deck for a basic energy attached to one of your Pokemon. Broken. Just got to get a little lucky, dude. Seismitoad. 70 damage for each of your Pokemon in play as a round attack. That's crazy. And we've got an Ignition Energy. How many round Pokemon are there? Musharna. Search your deck for any number of Fennel cards. Nah. I don't know what Fennel does, but she can't be that good. Call for Family. Free Retreat. Yo, this is a throwback Emolga. This is the same... is this not the same exact Emolga from like earlier black and white sets? I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's not exact. Ah, it's so close though. Static Shock. Legendary Treasures, right? Yeah. Because the Legendary Treasures Emolga also has like 70 hit. It might be 60 hit points. And we've got Zekrom EX and Beartic. Let's go. Zekrom EX is, in my opinion, one of the strongest cards in the set. It's got 230 hit points and the Voltage Burst attack, which does 130 damage plus 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if your opponent has taken 4 prizes, that means this guy's pumping out 330 damage at the end of the game. Absolutely nutters. I mean, that's exactly what Lightning decks need, is a way to one-hit KO a Charizard EX at the end of the game, and Zekrom EX rises to the occasion and does that job perfectly. So, really exceptional card here. If your opponent's taking 5 prizes, then dang, you're doing 360 damage. Even if your opponent has taken just 3 prizes, it's still 280 damage, which is knocking out like a ton of stuff. So, all in all, great card. Love Zekrom, and I very much think that this card will see some play in Lightning decks. And then Beartic, nice art rare there, looking very stoic. It's got the continuous headbutt attack. Flip a coin until you get tails. Attack does 50 damage for each heads. Okay. And then Sheer Cold should instantly one-hit KO, right? Is that not what Sheer Cold does? During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't use attacks. For 4, no thank you, Beartic. No thank you. And then, where's my tin? There we go. We've got our singular pack of White Flare coming up, folks. Brace yourselves. The extremely handsome Garbodor tin comes with, oh yeah, a very handsome Garbodor sticker. Yes. Dude, what if I pulled the monochrome Zekrom and the monochrome Reshiram? What if I pulled them both out of the same mini tin? What if we did it? Yo, what if we pulled Reshiram and Zekrom? Yeah. Are we pulling Reshiram and Zekrom? What set is the, or how is the monocolored Victini being released? I think I heard that the red Victini is like a promo exclusive, like you have to like win it in Japan or something. It's in both sets. Oh, cool. But I think in Japan it's a promo that you have to like win, right? Arkin, Ferrothorn, Garbodor, Purloin. Dude, these reverse hollows look so good. They look so good. This is what they should look like. This is what the reverse hollows should look like. Pokemon, keep this up. This rules. They look fantastic. Lillipup, look at him. He's got a little hat. Very cute. Very, very, very cute. Archeops, I mean, no Reshiram. It's okay, we got the art rare Lillipup. Extremely cute. And Archeops. The Archeops has got the Ancient Wing ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in the active spot, you may devolve one of your opponent's evolved Pokemon. So basically it's like a devolution effect. But he has to be in the active spot. Stage 2 Pokemon. Yeah. Okay. Not the easiest ability to pull off. But, I mean, you could do it, right? In Standard, Air Balloon just got reprinted as well. So, retreating has never been easier. Axew, Cubchoo, Snivy. All right, what do we get? Ends Plan. Yes, Panpour and Landorus. I love the Unova monkeys. They're so cool. Panpour, you're looking awesome here. Beautiful card. Now we just need Simipour. And then Landorus. Epic looking card there. Abundant Harvest. Attach a basic fighting energy from your discard pile of this Pokemon. And then Earthquake, 110, 10 to each of your bench Pokemon. I don't know about that, Landorus. Why you gotta be so stinky? But Panpour, anything but stinky. Card's looking nice. All right. Now we just need Simipour, Pansage, and Simisage. On to our first bundle Rooski. 6 booster packs out of the bundle Rooski. We've got a Genesect so far. This is the downside of clipping the nails. We've got Genesect and Zekrom so far, which are both very playable cards. So I'm stoked on that. We've also got a bunch of Tynamos and Eels. So that is also fantastic. Let's just do both the bundles at the same time. 12 booster packs. You know. Boom. 12 booster packs of Black Bolt. Straight to the face. That's a third of a booster box right there. Make me feel like I'm opening a booster box. Okay, Golett, Timpole, Fungus, Crocodile, Behem, Fennel. Yo! We got Behem, Art Rare, another Zekrom, so that's 2 Zekrom on the day. Wahoo! And the Hollow Metal Energy. I definitely know there are going to be some people out there that want to bling out their decks in only these energies. They look pretty sweet. But this Behem looks awesome, actually. It's got a really nice artwork. He's glowing. Dare I say this is probably the nicest Behem artwork ever. Its Psychic Attack does 80 damage plus 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. All right. Yeah, very pretty looking card. Let's go. Whirlipede, Girder, Fungus, Larvista, Fennel, Crustle. Crustle's got the sturdy ability. I always think this is fun. If this Pokemon's at full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it's not knocked out. And its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. That's like Pikachu EX. And Stone Edge, 80. Flip coin of head, 60 more. All right. Bisharp, Sandile, Tranquil, Beartic. That's not very handsome looking Beartic. That looks great. Tranquil, Dwebble, Palpitoad, Venipede, Throw, Amoonguss, Seismitoad, Free Retreat Dynamo, Cubchoo. So you're telling me there's Master Ball cards in this set too? Man, the Master Ball cards seem like they're going to be hard to pull, dude. If you're trying to 100%, yo, you got it, Brandon. If you're trying to 100% this set, man. Someone in chat right now is saying that Master Balls are 1 in 20 odds. Like 1 in 20 booster packs or 1 in 20 Pokeballs you get might be a Master Ball. The water. Woohoo! Looks sick. Conkeldurr. It's got the craftsmanship ability. Pokemon gets plus 40 hit points for each fighting energy attached to it. So you can be a big boy. And then swing around. Pretty bad attack. Did get a nice reverse Snivy. These are the nicest reverse hollows that Pokemon has printed in the modern era. I don't think like that the Pokemon Company International has printed in the modern era. These are like the nicest English reverse hollows that I've seen probably in my entire time playing. I mean, they look like the Japanese hollows. I mean, I really am extremely impressed with how good these look. It's like they didn't take any shortcuts. They just did it the same way they do it in Japan is what it looks like. These look really fantastic. I cannot express enough how good these reverse hollows look. And I'm surprised that they went through the effort to make this look exactly correct because this is just a special set. But I think what this signifies is that they went through the effort to get this technology to do this kind of reverse hollow and to get it as part of their workflow. And now I think that we'll probably expect to see more of this in the future. Now that they kind of have it, right, in their now that they have it in their you know, in their factories, right? I fully expect us to be getting more of that kind of stuff. Maractus, Elijim, Darumaka, Petalil, Professor's Research. Yo, what's up, Juniper? Alolamola. T-Dog, yo! A Master Ball Thunderous. Let's go. Bum 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 bum. Let's go! Dude, this card is sick. Finally, something that deserves a sleeve. Wahoo! Loving this. All right, so someone in chat said that Master Balls are 1 in 20. Is that 1 in 20 booster packs has a Master Ball? Dang. Yeah, that's looking slick, dude. That card looks tough. Love that. And it's a legendary Master Ball, too. 1 in 20 booster packs have a Master Ball card. That's cool. So if you buy like 3 booster bundles, you're almost, you know, almost going to find a Master Ball there. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's freaking go, dude. Master Ball Thunderous. That's one of the nicest cards we've pulled today for sure. See, I need to like boss up. Hold on. We're about to boss this stream up like crazy. Hold on. Money, dude. Oh, yeah. I gotta find my other hits. My other strongest hits. This is what all the breakers do. BHM Art Rare, Panpour Art Rare, Lillipup. Reuniclus doesn't count. Everybody gets the Reuniclus, dude. Pidove, Pidove. There we go. It's like pretty good. If I had like a top loader, it would be one step better, but I don't have top loaders on me, so that's as good as we can get right now. Okay. And then I'm not going to stand up all these art rares. They're like every single card in the set's got an art rare, so you know, they're like pretty common. And we've got Musharna and Haxorus. Cool. Word. Thank you, Mr. Teapot Pokemon, for that Prime sub. Appreciate the support. Thanks. Mana. Rufflet. Temple. Prism Energy. The Lurky Turkey. God, I love Lurky Turkey. Cobalion. There are stronger Cobalion out there. Timber, Pawnyard, Pansage, Throw, Clang, Fungus, T-Dog. Battle me, Cobalion. No. Battle me, Cobalion. Crocorock, Braviary, Bisharp. Oh, look at that. All right, we got the Pokeball Bisharp and the Palpitoad art rare. Look how cool Palpitoad. This is the coolest Palpitoad ever printed. That's the amazing thing about them doing sets like this where every single card gets an art rare. And the amazing thing about art rares in general is that cards like Palpitoad Palpitoad has never gotten a special card before, okay? He's a freaking Palpitoad. But this is undeniably the nicest Palpitoad ever printed, right? It's got to be. Look at him. He's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. And he's got the round attack. Thank you, Islamic Prince, for that Prime sub over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Well, let's go. Panpour. Duosian. Yo, shout out to all the Duosian fans out there, of which apparently there are some. Cover Fossil. Girder. Fennel. The Chinchino is interesting. What, 20 plus 20 more for each of your bench Pokemon? I mean, it's not 0 damage. Clangarang. Clink. Audino. Semi-Poor. Ends Plan. Move up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. I feel like there was another supporter that literally did this. There's another supporter that does basically this. Who's the short creepy girl? Poppy. That's right. Poppy. Yeah, Poppy did that. Sorry, N. You're not special. Maractus, Fracture, Caracosta, and another reverse water energy. Let's go. All right, let's read Caracosta. I know I haven't talked about the fact that the Tortuga has got Trashalanche. Listen, times have changed, okay? Trashalanche, part of what made Trashalanche so good was that you could combo it with Garbotoxin as well. Trubbish evolved into Ability Lock, and it evolved into a Pokemon that could punish your opponent's Pokemon for the amount of items that they've played. Since that, they did not buff the amount of damage that Trashalanche does on the Tortuga, and they've actually nerfed it because tool cards are no longer item cards. Tool cards used to be item cards, but now they're not, right? So, like, yeah. Thank you, El Burrow-chan, for the Prime sub over on Twitch. Thank you. So, yeah. So, not as strong. It's not as strong as it used to be, is what I'm trying to say. But Caracosta, 180 hit points, got the Mighty Shell ability, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have any special energy attached. Oh, that's pretty good. And then Big Bite. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. If, it becomes meta relevant that you would want to prevent damage done to one of your Pokemon from Pokemon with special energy, then Caracosta could be very good in standard format. But I don't know that a lot of decks in standard right now are relying on special energy. In Gym Leader Challenge format, this card's crazy. I'm going to be honest. Is it 30x? Is it? Am I lying to you guys? Tortuga is 30 times? I thought it was 20 times. Oh, if it's 30 times, I mean, that's worth thinking about then. All right, Tortuga, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm lying to you guys. I just assumed it was 20x. Is it really 30x? Where the heck are you? You dumb turtle? I think it is 30x. I think I'm tripping. It is 30 times. All right. I take back everything I said. Thank you, Illumiwani, for the Prime sub over on Twitch. Yo, shout out to all the primers out there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Makes a big difference. Yeah, Tortuga. Okay, all right. So let's talk about this. That's pretty hype. All right. Tortuga, efficient single prize attacker, ancient seaweed. If your opponent has 10 items in the discard pile, you're doing 300 damage for 1 water energy. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, I thought this was terrible because I thought it was 20 times. But now I'm realizing it's 30 times? That actually could be worth thinking about. And then Caracosta's got the Mighty Shell ability, which prevents all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have any special energy attached. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that this card is going to do anything in standard format right away. I think that standard format is kind of like very set in stone right now. You've got like the best standard decks are just really, really, really good. They're all kind of like a notch above the rest. It's really difficult to be a single prize attacker in standard format right now. It's really difficult, right? You've got Pokemon that can basically do anything to your bench Pokemon, you know, all that. But you know, maybe one day in standard format this could be a card. In Gym Leader Challenge format though, I think this thing's got some legs for sure, especially with the Caracosta and the Mighty Shell ability. There are some decks that just simply will not be able to answer Caracosta in Gym Leader Challenge format. And then Tortuga is like decent, right? I mean, like in a pinch, you can just Ancient Seaweed for if your opponent has 5 items in the discard pile, you're doing 150. 150 damage in Gym Leader Challenge format is knocking out like a whole bunch of stuff, like almost everything. And then Mighty Shell is going to wall off like a whole chunk of decks in Gym Leader Challenge format as well. I actually think this line in Gym Leader Challenge format is like quite good. Solosis, Electros, Dwebble, another Curum EX. All right, that's 2 Curum, 2 Zekrom, Whirlipede, Fracture, Caracosta, and another Superior EX. Okay, so that's my second Superior EX as well. Another Caracosta, Pokeball, Fennel. Heal 40 damage from each of your Pokemon. All right, just a little spread counter. Fennel, the spread counter. All right, not the most incredible hits so far, folks. We've got the Master Ball Thundurus and a Full Art Meloetta. Everything else has been regular arts, but we've got the best product saved for last, the Elite Trainer Box. Only the most elite trainers get to lay their eyes on the contents of an Elite Trainer Box. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Look at that. We've got our boy Zekrom here on the front of the box. Looking epic. You've got your black and white energy pack. You've got your Zekrom sleeves. You've got, this is my favorite part of the Elite Trainer boxes. Sorry, Thundurus. The dividers. Low-key, the coolest part, all right? When you got as many cards as I do, keeping them organized is is clutch, okay? So, yeah. The dividers comes with a nice artwork. Great for keeping your cards organized. Best part of the Elite Trainer box by a lot. You know, except for the booster packs, sure. Right, and then you've got all these, like, cool dividers. If you keep all your dividers over the years, then you've got all these, like, really cool dividers to, like, keep your cards sorted, which, to me, is neat. There's a code for you guys. Yeah, go ahead, sure. And then a Thunderous art rare. Yeah, to go with my Master Ball Thunderous. It's pretty freaking swag, dudes. It's pretty freaking sick, if you ask me. Looks great. Put that up there with my Thunderous collection. There we go. The Thunderous collection. The dice. They're black and blue. Yep. Okay. And we've got 9 booster packs, yes. Let's go. Dude, the sides of the booster packs having it's kind of cool looking. Let's go. Fungus. Cubchoo. Tranquil. Ends Plan. Dude, my goat. Beartic and another hollow metal energy. My goat. Simisage. It may not be a Master Ball, and it may not be the art rare, but I will treasure this Simisage. Oh, yeah. Look how relaxed he is. People who hate on the Unova monkeys have no taste, okay? Like, look how cool. What a cool Pokemon. You may have thought that they were annoying 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but admit that you were wrong, okay? Just admit, I admit that I was wrong. I didn't become a lover of the Unova monkeys until, I don't know, until my adulthood, okay? When I realized how powerful their aura actually was, right? They have the most insane aura out of any Pokemon. You cannot deny. You cannot deny. It's undeniable, dude. It's literally undeniable. Yeah, they're incredible. All 3 of them. Incredibly powerful aura. There you go. Boom. Venipede. Mana. Ends Plan. Another Dynamotor Eel. Another Dynamotor Eel. And another Dursky. I got lots of eels. Lots of eels today, which feels good. Panpour. Another eel. The Lurky Turkey. Throw. Prism Energy. Duosion for all the Duosion fans out there, of which there are some. And Volcarona. Rufflet, Timpole, Lurky Turkey, Simipour. Who we got? Pokeball Mana, Emolga. Ha! Look at all that. Yes, dude, yes. Sorry, Slando. Pokeball Mana. It's looking hot. That's sick. Art rare Emolga. Looking sick. Hollow Water Energy. I think I got like 3 of those now. Looking sweets. I'm just saying, if you wanted to be like the world's #1 Duosion fan, there are, what I'm saying is, like, if you want to be the world's #1 Mew fan, it's not possible. If you want to be the world's number one like Mewtwo fan, it's not possible. If you want to be the world's #1 Umbreon fan, it's literally not possible. If you want to be the world's #1 Charizard fan, it's literally not possible. But if you want to be the world's #1 Duosion fan, that one's probably up for grabs. I'm just saying, there is something there. If you want to be the world's #1 Duosion fan, I'm just saying, dude. Yeah, if you want to be the world's #1 Typhlosion fan, it's not happening. Here's our first air balloon. Okay. Luna says, I'm the world's #1 Chandelure fan. I don't believe you, Luna, because guess what? Alex Holtz actually also loves Chandelure and has a pretty extensive Chandelure card collection. So, Luna, see, you're already, and that's just in my own mind. That's just from my own friend group. I'm just saying. But Duosion, though, you'll have almost no competition. If you choose Duosion as your favorite Pokemon, another Meloetta EX. Thank God for that. Let's go. I'm going to be donking fools left and right with the debut performance ability, allowing me to use attacks on the first turn of the game. Do I think Phoebus has competition for a favorite Pokemon? Good question on YouTube. Yes, I do. Phoebus has the same unlovable energy that like Magikarp has, or the same weakling energy, you know? And people get attracted to that. They're like, oh, he's so worthless. I love him, right? Like, so I'm just saying, Air Balloon, Darmanitan, Mana, Victini with the V-Force attack. Okay, we've got 3 booster packs remaining, folks. 30 packs of Black Bolts. This is pack number 28. I have 1 Master Ball card and 1 full art to speak of. Clink, Palpitoad, Fracture, Pokegear 3.0. I do have 2 Air Balloon, though. But I guess I don't need to pull Air Balloon because I've got a bunch of old Air Balloons. Simipour, Clang. Was the coin a Master Ball holo? No, that was just Pokeball. I'm like, yeah, that was just Pokeball, guys. Yeah. Duosion, for all the Duosion fans out there, of which there are some. Antique Cover Fossil, which can evolve into Tortuga. Girder, Servine, Pokegear 3.0, Chinchino, Crustle, Audino, and the Braviary art rare, looking pretty epic, not gonna lie. That's a nice looking art rare for show. 4 energy for 130 damage. Now that's obscene. That is why. Like, why is that the most expensive attack? For no reason, right? This is like the worst card. Actually, now that I'm like reading the card, like, why did they make a card so bad, right? Flip a coin. If heads, you do 40 plus 40, and then, I mean, my goodness. Sorry, Braviary. I don't mean to rag on you, my dude, but like, yeah, you're not very good. All right, 1 booster pack remaining. The final pack of our opening. 1 more chance to open the Monochrome Zekrom. Let's do it, chatters. Venipede, Servine, Rufflet, Darumaka, Amoonguss, Scoliopede, Prism Energy, Pokeball Timpole, Timber, and Zekrom EX. All right, so that's our opening. We got, I think, 3 Zekrom EX, 2 Meloetto EX, a couple of Superior EX, our best hits, are by far our strongest hits out of the opening. Not close. Master Ball Thundurus. Shout out to Master Ball Thundurus. And Pokeball Simisage. These are our strongest hits from the opening. And they are gorgeous. So, you know what? I really can't be mad. Yeah. Beautiful. Huge thanks again to the Pokémon Company International. Huge thanks again to the Pokémon Company International for sending me this Black Bolt product to show off early. I really appreciate it. It was a ton of fun to open. And we're going to be playing with these cards on stream in the weeks ahead to show off new decks from Black Bolt and White Flare. So stay tuned for that. Now, we are going to transition the stream into a non-pack opening stream. We are going to move to a set review stream. That's what we got going on now. Set review. So let's do it. Just spent some time opening the cards. Now we're going to spend some time talking about them. Chatters. Let's talk about these cards. It's been a while since I've done a set review. I got kind of cold on them for a little while, but you know what? I'm feeling energized and ready to review the set. So let's do it. I'm going to take a quick break, though, and set my cameras up slightly differently. And then when I get back, we're going to do our set review. Let's get it going. And then, of course, tonight we've got Gym Leader Challenge League here at Full Grip Games as well, which will be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. What website should I use? Pokemon Proxies is pretty good. It's a nice one. All right, folks. I'll be right back after this quick break with a Black Bolt and White Flare set review. Hang tight. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you so much for the patience. I'm back. And we're going to do our Black Bolt and White Flare set review now. Talk about the sets, the best cards to come out of it, the cards that are worth buying in both Standard and Gym Leader Challenge formats, and yeah, just competitive viability of the set on the whole. It's not something that I've done in a little while. For a little while, I was kind of like, I was kind of soft on the set reviews because the sets are mostly bad. I'm gonna be honest. Like Destined Rivals, man. Like from a competitive standpoint, like what's a honest set review of Destined Rivals look like, right? Seriously. Thank you, Pickle Link, for the Prime sub over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, like what's a competitive set review of Destined Rivals look like? Say stop when I get to a good card. It's like you've got a bunch of stuff that's like almost decent, right? But like Rapidash is not Rapidash. Typhlosion is like almost decent. Ho-Oh is almost decent. The Rocket deck ended up being a total flop. Right? Like the whole Rocket deck was a total flop. Most everything was not really good. I mean, so like you're just going to be kind of just talking about why the cards are not that great. Which honestly is just like a super bummer set review to do. So for a little while I was kind of like having a hard time figuring out how I wanted to do set. Like, what do you do for a set review if the whole set is bad? Do you just really... And then if it's multiple sets in a row, you know, won't players get like tired of hearing that, right? That was kind of my thought. Like, players will get tired of hearing that their favorite deck is bad, right? So I was like, I just am not going to do set reviews for a little while. Like, for a little while, I was like, I just need to like not be negative on stream, right? I was in a very negative headspace, I don't know, 6 months ago, generally speaking. And then like I was trying to work my way out of that. And part of that was not doing set reviews because I felt like, okay, if I do a set review of Journey Together, yeah, whole set's pretty much bad. Set review of Destined Rivals, yeah, pretty much the whole set, whole set, just a lot of hot stinkers in here, folks, right? And it's just like, that's not, who wants to say all that, right? Like, who wants to take the time to make that video? So, but, you know, now I'm ready to just to tear Black Bolt and White Flare a new one. So let's get into it. Let's freaking do it, chatters. Yeah, Marnie's Grimmsnarl is by far the best card from Destined Rivals. It's like not close. Well, let's see. What do you guys think is the best website to look at? Honestly, I think it's Pokemon Proxies. Yeah, I think Pokemon Proxies is like the best one to look at because they got the cards translated into English. I don't think like the official API is out yet for... Yeah, like it's definitely not on pkmncards.com, right? No, definitely not. I got Destined Rivals, the most recent one. It's not on my whatever the heck this is. I don't even know what this is, bro. But shout out to this guy who does this website. I don't really know what it is. I'm pretty sure they just Pokemon TCG Guru. I'm pretty sure they scraped the. They just scrape the code from the Pokemon TCG Live. I'm pretty sure that's what they do. The thing is, though, if you're doing, I know Justin Basil is a good resource, but for like appearance, imagine like I'm making a YouTube video out of this, right? If I'm making a YouTube video about it, out of this, is the PTCGL card viewer with the expansion tab really bad for this? Yo, should we do it on TCG Live? Hold on. Today is the day, after all. I don't think I've ever done a set review on set release day. Which is why I've never considered this. I started watching Trust Your Pilot's video update on TCG Live. It's crazy to me that he's still going. Like, Trust Your Pilot, he's still out there doing the Lord's work, man. Keeping up with every single TCG Live patch. Every single one. I expect to, like, kind of loosely keep up with the evolution of TCG Live over the next, like, 5 years. And I suspect that maybe, and I said this when it came out, that my estimate for when TCG Live would be a good game was 10 years. And not even a good game, but like a, like a fine one. 10 years. 10 years was my original estimate. How do you think we're doing so far? What, we're like 4 years in? Something like that? And my estimate was 10 years in, it'll be fine. Holy smokes. All right, guys. Look, just close your ears, okay? My password. Is it this one? I have 4 more attempts left. Oh, man. It's not that one. I've got 3 attempts left. Woohoo! We're in. We're in, baby. We're in. We're in. We're in. I'm not talking like when did TCG Live officially release? Like when was the beta out for people to play? When did the beta come out? Dang, I'm feeling so rewarded right now. This is crazy. The beta came out in 2021, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Cool. Let's see, I think I need to put chat over here. Yes. Cool. Beta was February 2022. All right. Dang. Anybody else feeling rewarded? Let's go, baby. Anybody else feeling the rewards? Let the rewards flow through you. Okay, here we go. Okay. I will accept my gift. Thank you. Money. Money bags. That's what they call me. Money bags Mahone. All right, card decks. Is this new? This is new, right? Master set view. Let me see all the cards, please. So I would have to craft every single card in the set? Is that what you're telling me? All right, well, what if we just open some Black Bolt and White Flare packs? What's the easiest way to get all these cards? What's the easiest way to fill this thing out? You know, it's looking awfully blank right now, and it's grayed out, right? Like, I need it to not be grayed out so I could talk about that. It's going to look like crap if I'm doing a set review and the card's grayed out. Expansion and view list. Main set view, master set view, main set view. Buy all the tiers of the battle pass. That seems like a good idea. Okay, let's just do that. How do you buy all the tiers of the battle pass? I like that idea. All right, you just go all the way down here. Click on tier 100. Okay. 19,000 gems. That's a lot of gems, guys. That's like all my gems, bro. That's like all my gems, bro. It's fine. It's fine. I can't afford it. I do want to have the real card names, though. Is there any other way to farm gems? All right, let's go to the shop. Can I do Black Bolt and White? Okay, cool. So I could just... Should I buy these and open some? 10 booster packs? It's like a digital... It's an expensive set review. Yeah. Tier 100, that's 19,000. That's so many. That's all. Buy the highest tier I can. Okay. Sure. 92. Who's about to feel really rewarded, bro? Woohoo! Man, I'm on a reward high. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I did get 3,000 gems back. You know what that means. I get to buy all the way to 100 now. Ah! There we go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Well, we got to have at least some of it now, right? Card decks. Okay. I don't have everything. That's a main set view. All right, cool. Now, what am I missing? I better not be missing anything, bro. I better not. This is pretty good. That doesn't look bad. Talk about the card here. Click complete. Watcha. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Watcha. All right, we're in. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh yeah. All right. How do I get all the new tabs to go away? Do I have to click on every single one of them? Do I have to do this? Is this the only way to do it? Okay. All right. I've got all the news gone. All right, now we just got to do it over here. Click out of the card decks and back in. Oh, this works. You know, this is working, though. You cannot deny that this strategy has been successful. All right, who's ready for the Black Bolt White Flare set review? All right, we're here. Do I have any other sets that I can complete? Probably like old sets, right? Black and white. Oh, yeah. Look at this. I've got Plasma Freeze complete. Let's go. Let's go. Completed Plasma Freeze. Look at that. I got a sticker. What else do I got? Probably Roaring Skies or something. No Roaring Skies. There's certainly something that I was opening a crap ton of, but I can't remember it now. Back in my TCGO days. It's literally just Plasma Freeze. Because I was trying to open the Ultra Balls. That's right. I was trying to open the stupid gold Ultra Balls. That's why it's literally just Plasma Freeze. That's the set I was opening tons of. That's hilarious. Yeah. Plasma Freeze is the only set that I have. That's funny. And now Black Bolt and White Flare as well. Okay. Okay. Welcome to the Tricky Gym Black Bolt and White Flare set review. That's right, I'm on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and I'm going to be using their new card collection viewer to help me do this set review. And you know what? The card collection viewer looks pretty nice. And all I had to do was buy the entire battle pass here, and I got the whole set completed. Lickety split. So we're going to talk about the cards and their competitive viability in standard format and in Gym Leader Challenge format. Many cards will be good exclusively in standard format. Some cards will only be good in Gym Leader Challenge format, and then some cards are going to be good in both formats. So let's get right on into this thing. We're going to kick things off with Superior EX. This grass-type Pokemon has 320 hit points and the Regal Cheer ability, which says attacks used by your Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And then it's got the Command the Grass attack for a grass and 3 colorless energy, does 150 damage, and you can search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Yeah, you're doing 170 damage when you Command the Grass with the Regal Cheer ability. If you've got a bunch of Superior in play, you can boost that up to 230 damage. Doesn't change the fact that this is a trash tier bulk card that is completely unplayable. So we're going to move on to the next one. Simisage wins an award for being the most handsome Pokemon in Black Bolts, but nothing else. And if there are any cards that I skip, chatters, and you think that I am missing some sort of competitive viability, please let me know, because I would love to include your thoughts. Another Pokemon Center queue is up. Hold on. Alex Carpenter wants to commentate GLC with me tonight, but I need to remind Natalie, see if she'll bring my second mic for me so we can do that. Okay. Let's go. It was Surging Sparks packs and it's already sold out. That's so sick. Stimulated Evolution. If you have Shelmet in play, this Pokemon can evolve. Pass. Victini. This Victini is like almost worth thinking about in Gym Leader Challenge format. It does 120 damage for 2 energy and has the stipulation if you have 4 or fewer bench Pokemon, this attack does nothing. So you have to have a full bench of 5, and then V-Force can do 120 for 2. I don't think it's worth it. Even in GLC format, there was an original Victini from Noble Victories, which I think did 100 for 2 with the same effect. And this card has just not been power crept enough over the last 15 years, unfortunately. The Shelmet's nuts in Gym Leader or dude, no way. There's no way that card's good, bro. Escavalier. No, grass. Yeah, grass and metal doesn't work. Darmanitan, Volcarona. Discard a basic fire energy, make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. New Volcarona has got an ability, Torrid Scales, which requires that you discard a basic fire energy from your hand, and you leave your opponent's active Pokemon burned. If you compare this to the Brute Bonnet, which only needs to have an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached to it in order to leave your opponent's active Pokemon poisoned, I think Brute Bonnet is just better by a lot. I mean, it's a basic Pokemon that has more HP than Volcarona. Volcarona is a stage 1, and poison can be boosted with the effect of Poisonous Jungle, can also be boosted with Pecharunt. So I think this Volcarona, although kind of neat, is not all that great. Maybe if you're playing a burn-focused Gym Leader Challenge deck, you could incorporate this Volcarona, but otherwise, it's bulk. All right, how many rounders are there? Are these the only round Pokemon? Volcanion EX did it better. What's Volcanion EX do? This is the unfortunate thing about doing it in TCG Live is that I'm realizing like one of my favorite things to do during set reviews is pull up PKMN cards and do that. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you make your opponent's an extra Pokemon point. But it's got a retreat cost of 3? Yeah. Even Volcanion EX does this effect better. It can leave the opponent's active Pokemon burned when it's in the active spot. Yeah, no. Are there any more round Pokemon? Pokemon with the round attack? I guess I could pull that up on... I feel like, does this game have a windowed mode, dude? I don't think there are any other Pokemon in Standard with the round attack, right? This is what I'm seeing. Is that correct? Can I safely state... The Donk combo is you promote Volcanion EX to burn, then retreat and use Meloetta plus TM Evo and do 80 damage. Why would you... Volcanion's burn will do 20, right? Meloetta can attack going first. So, yeah, but why are you using TM Evo? TM Evo to evolve what? Oh, out Volcaronas. All right, that's kind of hype. Or Magmortar. Yeah, there's a Magmortar. Magma Surge during Pokemon checkup with 3 more damage counters than your opponent's burn Pokemon. All right, that's kind of hype. Also, super bad, but like, this is the kind of spice that I'm here for. All right, we'll have that dialed up when we talk about Meloetta. Seismitoad is the new round attacker. I don't know that this attack has ever been good at any point in the game's history, but that doesn't stop the Pokemon Company from printing it. Round historically does more damage per the amount of Pokemon in play with the round attack. And as of right now, there are no other Pokemon in Standard format with the round attack other than Tympole, Palpitoad, and Seismitoad. So the entire line has the round attack, but no other Pokemon. And this would be pretty nuts if there were other Pokemon in the format with the round attack, because then if you had 6 Pokemon in play with the round attack, I mean, 6 times 7, God only knows. That's like 420 damage. That's just a ton of damage, right? 6 times 7 is 42, right? I'm pretty sure. 420 damage. That's just a ton of damage to do with 1 Ignition Energy, which is one of the strongest energies from, which is one of the strongest cards from these sets, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Rounds, though, is going to be capped at doing 280 damage, which honestly is decent, but not enough to warrant building a deck around Seismitoad and the round attack. So, yeah, I think that you're going to be best off just leaving this guy in your bulk bin. Are these the best water Pokemon in these sets? I'm pretty sure they are. Undeniably, the best, strongest water attackers? All right, I think so. Tortuga and Caracosta, I think, are the strongest water Pokemon from Black Bolt and White Flare. Tortuga has the Ancient Seaweed attack, which does 30 damage for each item card in your opponent's discard pile. And players are making the obvious comparison between Tortuga and Garbodor from Guardians Rising. Garbodor had the Trashalanche attack, which was meta-defining during its time, and it only did 20 damage times the amount of item cards your opponent had in their discard pile for the same cost of a single energy. Ancient Seaweed is power crept for the times, which is great to see, 30 damage times the amount of items, but there are a couple of differences between Trashalanche Garbodor and this Tortuga. Trashalanche Garbodor existed in a time with Shaman EX, one of the most powerful draw cards ever printed, and Trainer's Mail, one of the most powerful item cards ever printed. So there were lots of turbo strategies that existed during Garbodor's reign in standard format. Also, there was another incredible Garbodor that existed alongside Trashalanche Garbodor with the Garbotoxin ability. So a lot of decks utilized both of those Garbodor so that you could ability lock your opponent while also punishing them for executing their strategy and playing items. The fact that Tortuga's attack power has been amplified is kind of irrelevant because now your average big Pokemon EX has just over 300 hit points, and back when Garbodor was popular, the average big Pokemon had just over 200 hit points. So they've kind of scaled the same, except back when Garbodor was being played, tool cards counted as items. So it was very easy to get tool cards and item cards stacked up in your opponent's discard pile. But now tool cards are no longer considered item cards, which does nerf the effectiveness of Tortuga. And then the final thing worth noting is that Tortuga evolves from a fossil, and fossils are a lot more difficult to get into play than basic Pokemon. Think of all the most popular cards that get basic Pokemon into play. Buddy Buddy Poffin, Nest Ball, Artisan. None of those can get cover fossil. None of those can get cover fossil into play. So in order to get a cover fossil into play, you have to play a card that searches out an item or draw into it naturally. So Tortuga is just a tough Pokemon to get into play. It's not as strong as its Garbodor counterpart was years ago, and there's no really broken ability lock Tortuga to play alongside this Tortuga. Now, with all of that said, this is still a pretty strong attack. Okay, yeah, actually, I like Soda King's addition there about Badoo. I'm going to include that too. And then additionally, a lot of decks are actually cutting back on the amount of items that they're playing because of Badoo and its item locking Itchy Pollen attack. And then we've also got Jellicent DX on the way with its Sea Curse ability that also locks items. You've got a lot of decks playing Brock's Grit, and the new Hilda supporter is also going to see a lot of play. So items are kind of on the decline. Tortuga is not really going to have a chance to shine in standard formats. And even with all of that said, the attack is still pretty good. I could see a time maybe eventually where Tortuga and the Ancient Seaweed attack is relevant, but not in the near future, because right now there's just too many spread decks in the format. With Dragapult, there's too many spread decks in the format. You've got Dragapult EX with Phantom Dive. You've got Grimmsnarl EX, just way too many ways to damage bench Pokemon. Monkey Dory, yeah, the list goes on. And I don't really see Tortuga doing enough to overcome those weaknesses with the cover fossil and, yeah, being a single prize attacker. Did I say Brock's Grit? Frick, dude. Brock's Scouting. Players are playing Brock's Scouting. Brock's Scouting. There we go. Boom. Corrected. I'll chop that up in post. You won't even notice it, dude. Players are playing Brock's Scouting, and we'll be playing the new Hilda's card. Yeah, there you go. Boom. See? You're not even going to notice when I cut that up. Caracosta is a pretty cool Pokemon. It's got the Mighty Shell ability, which prevents all damage. It's got the Mighty Shell ability, which prevents all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have any special energy attached. So if it becomes extremely meta relevant that top decks are playing special energy, say for instance like the Lugia V-Star deck from formats past, then this Mighty Shell ability could be relevant in standard format. I don't think that it is right now, but it could be one day. I'm not going to write it off. In Gym Leader Challenge format, though, this ability is quite strong, as almost every kind of deck in Gym Leader Challenge format has special energy included in it, and special energy plays a core part in many decks' strategies. And then you consider the fact that Tortuga and its Ancient Seaweed attack actually ramps up pretty well in Gym Leader Challenge format, where there are no EX Pokemon or Pokemon with a rule box allowed. So in a format with no rule box Pokemon, if your opponent just has 5 items in the discard pile, you're going to be doing 150 damage for just 1 water energy, which is really good damage output in Gym Leader Challenge format. In Standard, you're just tickling your opponent when you do 150 damage. But in GLC, you're knocking out almost everything. So this card is much stronger in Gym Leader Challenge format than it is in Standard. And even the hurdle of having to get a cover fossil into play is somewhat mitigated by the fact that you have access to Irida in Gym Leader Challenge format, which can search out an item and a water Pokemon. It's a great card for getting that cover fossil into play. So I do really like this line in a low energy count water list, a list that's not playing energy accelerators like Frostmoth or Baxcalibur. And I think Caracosta could make a splash in GLC water decks. Yo, thank you, Sticks, for that Prime sub and the 29 months over on Twitch. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, who else we got to talk about? Gentle Finn, 1 stringer trainer. This Pokemon has the active spot. Discard pile on your bench. No, it's not really. No, Dragoff. No, that's not. That ain't it. Kyurem EX, basic water Pokemon with 230 hit points, and it's got the Blizzard Burst attack for 2 water and a colorless. Does 130 damage and 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if your opponent has taken 5 prizes, then you get to do 50 damage to all of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I do not think that this card is playable or good. It's a reference to the original Kyurem Hollow with the Glaciate attack from the Black and White era, and that single prize Pokemon did 30 damage to all of the opponent's Pokemon for the same energy cost as Blizzard Burst. But in standard format now, there are just so many better ways to spread damage onto your opponent's bench. Marnie's Grimmsnarl, Monkey Dory, Dragapult DX. Yeah, it is not ever going to be worth powering up Kyurem EX to Blizzard Burst, especially since at the beginning of the game, you're only doing 10 damage to all your opponent's Pokemon. Just not worth it. This Emolga is a fun little callback to the original Emolga from Legendary Treasures with the same 2 attacks and the same free retreat. Call for Family places 2 basic Pokemon from your deck onto your bench. Static Shock does 20 damage, and then being a free retreater is awfully nice. But this kind of Pokemon is largely irrelevant in a format where you've got access to Buddy Buddy Poffin and Artisan and Nestball and just so many consistent ways to get your basic Pokemon out early on in the game. So, Emolga, cool reference, but unnecessary and standard. It may have taken 15 years, but our boy Tynamo has finally gotten power crept. This Tynamo is the absolute apex of Tynamo evolution over the years. It has not only 40 HP, which is the maximum HP of any Tynamo across all of the Pokemon generations, but it also has free retreat. 15 years ago in the original Black and White sets, 15 years ago in Noble Victories, Tynamo either had 40 hit points and a retreat cost of 1, because, you know, if you have 40 hit points, then you're fat, apparently, and have to pay 1 to retreat. Or there was the option to play the 30 hit point Tynamo, which had free retreat. And then there have been a bunch of iterations on the 40 hit point Tynamo with a retreat cost of 1 over the years until now. Finally, the optimal Tynamo has been released in the Black Bolt set. 40 hit points and a free retreat cost. Everything you want with a Pokemon that evolves into electric with the Dynamotor ability. Because Dynamotor allows you to attach a basic lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon, and that combos extremely well with Tynamo having free retreat, since you can promote Tynamo with free retreat, Dynamotor to your bench Pokemon, and then retreat Tynamo into your new attacker and swing with whoever you accelerated energy to. Kind of a troll, though, gotta say. Dynamo's Hold Still attack, which heals 10 damage from this Pokemon, is a little ridiculous. I can't think of many situations where you are going to effectively use this attack to heal damage from your Dynamo, but if Dynamo were caught up in a battle with a Badoo, I guess you could glance off all of Badoo's itchy pollens while you set up your board, I guess. But it doesn't matter, because if you're attacking with Dynamo, you're usually losing that game anyhow. Now, this electric is the same exact electric that you know and love all the way back from Noble Victories. And it was the backbone of my first ever competitive deck. I've got a lot of love for electric. Back in the day, you played electric with Zekrom from Black and White, and then sometimes you played it with Mewtwo EX, you played it with Rayquaza EX, sometimes you played it with toolbox attackers like Terrakion. There were a lot of different iterations of the electric deck from the original Black and White era, and I'm excited to have this ability back in Standard. It hasn't been so long since Dynamotor has been a part of Standard format, though, because Flaffy from Evolving Skies also had the Dynamotor ability. Flaffy from Evolving Skies was largely irrelevant for most of its competitive legality, though, until Miraidon came out and really put Lightning Pokemon back on the map. Since then, Miraidon decks, since Flaffy has rotated, Miraidon decks have found other ways to exist, and the most recent iteration of the Lightning deck is Joltik Toolbox, where you use Joltik to accelerate lightning and grass energy onto your Pokemon, and then amp you very much with Iron Hands, maybe swing with Pikachu EX, and try to sweep up the game that way. That is a very valid way to play the Lightning deck right now, and it has been pretty successful, top cutting multiple major tournaments. However, having the option to lean on electric and its dynamotor ability to charge energy into play does give Lightning decks more options and more versatility. So I'm excited about that. I'm not saying that electric is going to be the most broken part of standard format or even played in the most optimal Lightning builds right off the bat, but having this card in standard format does mean that the option is there, and maybe, like Flaffy, there will be a time when Dynamotor becomes a top strategy in the Pokemon TCG. The ability is proven, the ability is good, all it takes is the right combination of factors, and electric could be a top deck in the Pokemon TCG. Now, electric wouldn't be worth squat if it didn't have a great partner in this set, and thankfully, Zekrom EX is exactly that. Zekrom EX has 230 hit points, and the Voltage Burst attack for 2 lightning and a colorless energy does 130 damage plus 50 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if your opponent has taken 4 prizes, you're going to do 330 damage for 3 energy. It's a basic Pokemon. It's easy to just lay down, use Dynamotor to attach energy to, and then swing for 330 damage at the end of the game. You could also use Electric Generator to accelerate lightning energy onto your Zekrom EX. It's just a very strong attack. You could even use Magneton and explode the Magneton, which would then give your opponent a prize card and boost the power of Zekrom EX's Voltage Burst while also giving you the necessary energy to use the attack. In current Lightning builds, you're relying on Pikachu EX, which caps out at 300 damage, and you can maybe play that with the Stadium that decreases. What's the Stadium, dude? The mountain thing? What's it called? Gravity Mountain. And you can play Pikachu with Gravity Mountain to decrease Stage 2 Pokemon's hit points by 30. Yeah, you know. So Zekrom EX does fill a niche there. It allows you to clear that 300 HP threshold that Pikachu can't really do, while also not requiring grass energy to do it. So I think Zekrom EX is pretty good. I mean, even hitting 280 damage when your opponent has taken 3 prizes is super relevant, as you're going to be able to clear most of the Stage 1 Pokemon EX in standard format as well. I think Zekrom EX really breathes new life into the Miraidon archetype, right? And really makes it viable to play a Dynamotor Electric Generator based list instead of just having to go with the Iron Hands EX, instead of just having to go with the Joltik Iron Hands EX Pikachu list that has been popular so far. Reuniclus is one of those Stage 2 Pokemon that helps you to evolve other Pokemon into play, and I always think it's kind of funny. Like, you got the Stage 2 Pokemon, and then are you going to set up a Stage 2 to help evolve other Pokemon into play? It just doesn't make sense, right? If you're trying to evolve Pokemon in play, usually you want a basic Pokemon to do that, but it makes sense when you read the whole card. Cellular Ascension says for each of your bench Pokemon, you get to search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. And then Evo Lariat does 40 damage plus 40 more damage for each of your evolution Pokemon in play. And since you can have up to 8 bench Pokemon, that means that you can have 9 evolution Pokemon in play. And if you have 9 evolution Pokemon in play, that means you're going to be doing 360 plus, you're going to be doing 400 damage for 1 energy. I think I did my math right there. 400 damage for 1 energy? Yeah, but you'd have to have a Terra Pokemon as one of your evolutions, and you would have to have all 9 evolutions in play, and you'd have to have the stadium in play, Area 0 Underdepths to expand your bench to 8. It's just, this is wombo combo. That's what it is. It's a wombo combo, and I say that as a derogative term to refer to a strategy that is too wombo-y and too combo-y to be effective. It could be funny, sure, but honestly, I think Mamoswine EX does it better. Mamoswine EX just has an ability that allows you to go search your deck for a Pokemon. It's a much more realistic way to spam Pokemon into play. And then Mamoswine EX also has more than 140 hit points, so you're not like setting up this weak stage 2 Pokemon that then is going to get easily knocked out and all that. So as far as this style of attack goes in standard format, I really prefer Mamoswine EX and the ability that Mamoswine has to set up your board. In Gym Leader Challenge format, you could ramp to some pretty decent numbers with Evo Lariat. You could even use Cellular Ascension to help set up your board. 140 hit points is still on the weak side for a stage 2 Pokemon, but if you have 3 evolution Pokemon in play, you're going to be doing 160 damage for just 1 energy. So not terrible in Gym Leader Challenge format. It's actually a pretty decent attack. And I think that there are other types that would consider playing this card. But in the Psychic card pool, you've got a lot of competition. There are some extraordinarily strong Psychic lines in Gym Leader Challenge format. And and Solosis and Duosion aren't really doing anything for your deck. You just have 3 deck spaces dedicated to having a pretty good low energy cost attack. And I think that there are just better uses for your deck space in GLC. However, if Reuniclus is your absolute favorite Pokemon ever, sure, it's not that bad. It's a pretty good attacker. Golly, I just love it when my Pokemon can attack on the first turn of the game, going first. Donk is back and stronger than ever, folks. Meloetta EX got 200 hit points and the debut performance ability. If you go first, this Pokemon can use attacks during your first turn. Notice it says can use attacks. So can use all attacks, not just its echoed voice attack, which does 30 damage for 1 psychic energy, and during your next turn, it does 80 more damage. So turn 1, 30, turn 2, 110, turn 3, 110, turn 4, 110. Sorry, it doesn't add 80 every single time to the previous number. It caps out at 110. I know, that'd be really exciting if it did, but it's just not the way the card works. What's interesting about Meloetta is that it can knock out Badoo turn 1 going first, but also that you can use your technical machines. That you can use your technical machines with it. So you could get a turn 1 TM evolution to evolve some of your bench Pokemon up into play on the first turn of the game going first. You could get a turn 1 Turbo Energize to accelerate some energy onto your Pokemon on the first turn of the game going first. And that is kind of interesting. I'm not sure that that's going to be a super popular strategy in standard format, as you're going to have to play Meloetta EX in your deck and kind of hope that you open it. But it is a kind of interesting thing that exists. And then there are also the donk strategies, right? And I think Jesse Parker in the chat was telling me that you could play Meloetta with Volcanion EX, and you could have Volcanion in the active, leave your opponent's active Pokemon burned, switch into Meloetta EX, and then use TM Evolution to evolve 2 of your benched Magmar into Magmortar and make it so that your opponent takes 80 damage from burn on the first turn of the game. That's very funny. However, it's not any better than the poison version of Donk that already exists. Like, why not just do the poison thing with the Pecharunt and the Stadium? I mean, I guess, right? It seems like the same to me, but whatever, you know? If you want to try and win games going first, Meloetta can allow you to do some of that. Very fun. Excadrill EX, 270 hit points, and the piercing drill attack does 60 damage, and it also does 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. Rock Tumble, 200 damage for 3. This card is Bulk City. There are just better spread attacks in standard format. It's not worth getting this card into play. Conkeldurr, the Durski, has got 140 hit points and the craftsmanship ability, which makes it so that it gets plus 40 hit points for each fighting energy attached to it. And then the swing around attack does 100 damage, flip 2 coins, does 50 more damage for each heads. I have never seen an ability like this that actually ends up being good. I think there's like a Stunfisk that had it, which was like kind of meme tier, funny, haha, but this Conkeldurr is like much worse than that Stunfisk was. It's a stage 2 single prize Pokemon. You could have some funny haha stuff if you have like a reversal energy attached to it, I guess. Is reversal energy even still legal? I think it is, right? Oh yeah, it is. You could do some funny stuff if you have a reversal energy attached to it. Reversal alone is going to give you plus 120 hit points. However, you have to be losing the game in order to activate reversal energy, which you'll definitely be doing if you're playing the Conkeldurr deck. And only giving your guy 260 hit points, I mean, your opponent can easily dispose of a 260 hit point Pokemon. That's not a problem. Every deck in standard format is constructed to deal at least 300 damage. So knocking out a Pokemon with 260 hit points is not an issue. And then even if you do manage to get the Conkeldurr powered up, you're doing like 150 damage for 4 energy on average. It's just not worth it, folks. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just need to let your memes not be dreams, okay? And just let them fizzle out into the abyss and forget about them. I always think it's funny when they print these abilities. They always give Sturdy to like the worst, most unusable Pokemon. In fact, Pikachu EX, I think, is the strongest card ever printed with the Sturdy ability. And it's actually kind of ridiculous that they named it something else other than Sturdy. What do they name it? Pikachu EX? Resolute Heart. It's actually a real shame that they named it Resolute Heart and not Sturdy, because everybody knows Pikachu just has the Sturdy ability. Sturdy makes it so that if this Pokemon has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it's not knocked out. Its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. Very strong. It's like a built-in ace spec, literally. Like, what's the vest called? Good Lord. The vest, the thing, the coat, what is it? What's it called, man? Survival brace. It's like a built-in survival brace, which is pretty good, right? I mean, it's literally an ace spec power level ability. But then you back it up with like one of the worst attacks you've ever seen. Stone Edge, 80 damage for 3, flip a coin if heads, 60 more. Nah, we pass. I mean, you always got to read a Pokemon when it has the Sturdy ability, though, because like that ability is so good. The potential to deny one-hit KOs is extremely strong. But even in this day and age, with Monkey Dory and all of the spread options available, you almost never get to use the ability anyhow. of these guys are really that good, but Genesect. All right. Genesect EX, one of the strongest cards in the set by a lot. It's got 220 hit points and the Metallic Signal ability, which says once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 Evolution Metal Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. This is exactly the ability that Gholdengo EX decks have been waiting for. This Genesect EX is the perfect partner for Gholdengo EX. And now Gholdengo decks can safely choose to go first, as they don't have to rely on hitting a TM evolution in order to pop off going second. You can go first, use Buddy Buddy Poffin, get your Gimme Ghoul into play, and then turn 2, get a Genesect EX, Metallic Signal. That's 2 Gholdengo right there, and then start using coin bonus to draw cards. I think Genesect EX just really smooths out the Gholdengo experience, and anyone who's a fan of the Gholdengo deck is going to love having access to Genesect EX. And Genesect isn't the only buff that Gholdengo is getting in the set. It actually also gets access to Air Balloon. Man, my eye is itching. And Air Balloon is an incredible buff for Gholdengo. Air Balloon makes it so that the Pokemon... Let's just talk about Air Balloon now. Air Balloon makes it so that the Pokemon it's attached to gets -2 retreat cost. And Gholdengo has a retreat cost of 2, as does Genesect EX. And what's so cool about Air Balloon and Gholdengo decks is that it makes it so that you can promote a Gholdengo EX and use its coin bonus to draw 2 cards instead of 1, since it'll be in the active spot, and then retreat your Gholdengo into a new Gholdengo EX, and then use coin bonus for 2 with that Gholdengo as well. It also just really smooths out the whole opening sequence for Gholdengo, since it used to be kind of an issue if you started a Pokemon you didn't want to open, especially if you didn't have an energy card in your opening hand, and then you were set back a turn. But now, with access to Air Balloon, you could just slap an Air Balloon on your Genesect EX or on your Monkey Dory or whatever Pokemon you happen to open so that you can get an early attack with Gholdengo EX. Air Balloon, I expect to see a lot of play. There are quite a few decks that are playing Rescue Board right now that will just swap Rescue Board straight to Air Balloon because Air Balloon is explicitly better. I don't know about you guys, but I've never actually used the bonus effect of Rescue Board. Not once ever have I actually retreated a Pokemon with, 30 hit points or less for free? Yeah, I've never actually done that. But apparently you can. So I don't think it's actually going to matter that most decks are swapping from Rescue Board to Air Balloon, and all of those 2 retreat Pokemon that used to be a pain to play are now going to have an easy way to pivot out of the active spot. Thank you, Rorschach. How do you say that word again? Thanks, Rorschach, for the Prime sub and the 15 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. Rorschach. Yeah, thank you, Rorschach. The sub in the 15 months. Thank you. We also got a couple new supporter cards in Black Bolt, Fennel and End's Plan. Fennel allows you to heal 40 damage from each of your Pokemon, which is huge in a metagame with so much snipe damage being placed with Monkey Dory and all of that. I do think that Picnic Basket is just the superior card. It's an item and it heals your opponent's Pokemon as well, which actually ends up being a benefit against Monkey Dory decks since you heal your opponent's Pokemon, which then decreases the amount of damage that they can throw your way with Monkey Dory. So Fennel is neat, and I'm excited that a card like this exists. However, Picnic Basket is kind of the superior card in standard format right now, and I expect Picnic Basket to continue to be the tech of choice amongst top players. End's Plan allows you to move up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. And this card reads very similarly to Poppy, which was from the Sword and Shield era. Poppy says move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. End's Plan, it can only be bench to the active. So Poppy was just better than End's Plan. Poppy, Scarlet, and Violet, holy crap, End's Plan is terrible. I take it all back. End's Plan reads very similarly to Poppy. Poppy allows you to move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon, and End's Plan has to be from the bench to the active Pokemon. So End's Plan is actually just explicitly worse than Poppy. Except for the fact that End's Plan can take 2 energy from different Pokemon and move that. Okay, so maybe not. Okay. Yeah. All right. End's Plan reads very similarly to Poppy from Obsidian Flames. Poppy allows you to move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. End's Plan allows you to move up to 2 energy from your benched Pokemon to your active Pokemon. So what's unique about End's Plan is that it allows you to choose energy from up to 2 different Pokemon and move them all to your active Pokemon, which can allow you to kind of which can allow you to concentrate, concentrate your board position into your active Pokemon, which could be useful. I mean, if you have a deck that uses Dynamotor to accelerate energy to the bench, you could use End's Plan to move all of those energy to your active Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. You could have energy spread out throughout the game and then use End's Plan to focus all that energy to, you could use End's Plan to move that energy to your active. I do think that this kind of supporter is generally weak. In the past, I have said things to the effect of, just put the energy where you want it the first time, right? Don't play a card like Energy Switch or End's Plan that fixes the place you put the energy. Just put it in the right spot the first time, and then you'll never have to play a card like End's Plan ever again. So that's a little bit of hyperbole, but the sentiment is kind of the same. I don't really like cards like End's Plan. Just put the energy where you want it the first time around. Another callback to the original Black and White era. Prism Energy is returning. One of the stronger special energies ever. If this card is attached to a basic Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but provides only 1 energy at a time. So it's just a rainbow energy that doesn't have the downside of placing a damage counter on your Pokemon, but it only works on basic Pokemon. This card is going to have a big impact on standard formats, as there are a lot of decks that are playing Luminous Energy that would rather play Prism Energy instead. So I do expect Prism Energy to see play in standard, and the amount of combinations that make sense with Prism Energy will just reveal themselves over the months ahead. But I expect Prism Energy to see some play with Monkey Dory. I expect Prism Energy to see some play with Monkey Dory early on. However, something worth noting is that Luminous Energy will still be the preferred energy for Monkey Dory in evolution-based decks like Charizard or even Dragapult EX. So there are a lot of situations where Prism Energy won't work. But in basic focus decks, Prism Energy is going to be the superior option, as you can have multiple Prism Energy all attached to the same Pokemon. In the Ho-Oh EX Armor Rouge toolbox, for instance, Prism Energy is going to be very good in that deck, since you'll have the option to stack multiple Prism Energy on the same basic Pokemon to unlock attacks that the deck couldn't previously use. So Prism Energy, going to be a strong card in standard format, and I'm pretty stoked that they reprinted it. It's a cool card. Moving on to White Flare. And we got to start off with my dude, Whimsicott EX. I love Whimsicott. Whimsicott is clearly the most whimsical and wonderful Pokemon from Black and White. I will take no comments on that fact. Whimsicott EX has 230 hit points and 2 attacks. Its first attack, Energy Gift, for 1 grass, allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. And Wondrous Cotton, for 1 grass energy, does 50 damage times the amount of trainer cards in your opponent's hand. All in all, this card is not that great. It does have free retreat, which is nice because you could use Energy Gift to accelerate energy and then pivot into a stronger attacker after using Energy Gift. But keep in mind, Energy Gift is always existing in the context of a format with TM Turbo Energize. And TM Turbo Energize, even though it only accelerates 2 energy to your bench Pokemon, can be used by any attacker. So TM Turbo Energize is pretty much always going to be superior to Energy Gift. And then Wondrous Cotton, your opponent can just play around that by limiting the amount of trainer cards in their hand. You could do a thing where you have like Wondrous Cotton, right? And you're trying to like force your opponent to play the trainer cards out of their hand. And then you come in with the Tortuga and you punish your opponent for playing the trainer cards. It's genius. It's genius. You know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this card's very good, but you know, Tortuga, Whimsicott, could see it. Shelmet. Yo. You have to have Carablast in play. You can instantly evolve into a Selgor. You can get a turn 1. Yo, in Gym Leader Challenge. You get a turn 1 Ninja Tornado. Yeah, that's just not worth it, bro. Selgors. It's just not worth it. You'd have to have it in your hand. That's the thing. Is like, yeah, it can evolve on the first turn you play it, but you have to have a Selgor in your hand. I'm not seeing it. No way. No, I don't. No, this guy. Loop it with Grottle? What a Selgor are we doing here? What a Selgor is worth getting into play? Deck and cover? All right, so we're doing deck and cover to keep your opponents paralyzed the entire time. That's kind of wombo combo-y. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm thinking it's a little wombo-y combo-y. Another callback to the original black and white set. Embor has returned with the Inferno Fandango ability. Says, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic fire energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. I love this Embor. I actually top 4 to regional once with the old Embor from Legendary Treasures, the Family Boar, one of my favorite arts ever in the Pokemon TCG. Back in the day, you'd pair Embor with Rayquaza EX to unleash big attacks on your opponent's Pokemon with the Inferno Fandango ability, raining fire energy into play, and then you attach lightning from hand, and then boom, Rayquaza, take big knockouts. Previous to that, you would pair Embor with Reshiram, which could do 120 damage with its blue flare attack. So Embor has a history of being a successful card. And then, of course, there was also Magneton. And then, of course, there was also Magnabor, which was Magnezone Prime with Embor. And you'd accelerate energy into play and then discard all the energy, and then lost zone all the energy from your Magnezone and go boom. So Embor has a history of being successful in the Pokemon TCG with this exact ability. However, I don't really think that the conditions are good for a Rain Dance style ability like this in standard format right now. Proof is that Chien-Pao Baxcalibur is pretty much unplayable right now, even though just a year ago it was a top deck in the Pokemon TCG. So it's not to say that the conditions could not come around for Embor to be quite good. I mean, look at Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur was a regional championship winning strategy just a year ago. Fast forward 12 months and is completely unplayable. But, you know, things could change. Embor could have its time. Its time, unfortunately, is not right now. Getting all those energy into play, getting Embor into play, all this stuff with item lock so rampant in the format. I mean, you've got Gardevoir, which has access to Jellicent, which can item lock. You've got Badoo, which can item lock. Yeah, there's just a lot of item lock for a strategy like this to be successful. Item lock is certainly one of the things that made Baxcalibur so unplayable. That and the bench snipe of decks like Dragapult and Monkey Dory being able to really just kind of abuse placing those damage counters as well. So I don't expect Embor to, see any play in Standard, unfortunately. And in Gym Leader Challenge, we already have an Embor. So if you're playing Embor in your Gym Leader Challenge deck, congratulations. It's got more HP now. As a foil to Zekrom EX, we also have Reshiram EX, also with 230 hit points, and also with the same exact attacks. Blazing Burst does 130 damage, plus 50 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. Oh, and then you have to discard an energy from this Pokemon. Zekrom does some damage to itself. Reshiram has to discard an energy. These are callbacks to the original Reshiram and Zekrom from Black and White base sets all those years ago. Very cool. Torrential Whirlpool. It's just... Nope. Bad card's bad. Galvantula is like... This Galvantula is like almost worth thinking about, right? I mean, you've got Joltik, which can accelerate lightning energy into play, is seeing some play, and then obviously you've got the new Dynamotor, which is legal and standard now. Galvantula could be a way to deal a decent amount of damage, especially in Gym Leader Challenge format. You could discharge if you're playing Joltik. You could discharge to do 150 to 200 damage. Is like pretty good in Gym Leader Challenge format. I don't expect this Galvantula to see any play in standard format, as I think the Galvantula that takes the grass energy is, yeah, that one's just better. But in Gym Leader Challenge format, this Galvantula could see some play. Cofagrigus has got the extended Damagrigus attack. Extended Damagrigus attack. Move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Dude, people always want these kinds of attacks to be good. They always want them to be good. But your opponent can just play around this kind of stuff. As soon as your opponent knows what you're doing, any competent player is just not going to allow you to effectively utilize this kind of attack. It's the same problem I got with Cynthia's Spiritomb in the Cynthia's Garchomp deck. Like, as soon as your opponent is hip to what you're trying to do, they're not going to allow you to maximize this. It's the same thing with Wobbuffet, right, in the Rockets deck. It just doesn't end up being that good. So these kinds of attacks, they just have never really been good in the Pokemon TCG. And it's certainly not going to change now with Cofagrigus, even though it's got a very cool attack name. Gothitelle, 150 hit points, stage 2 Pokemon. The old Gothitelle from back in the day, that thing used to item lock. But we've already got a different item locker. It's Jellicent. Okay, so this Gothitelle has a different ability, but is also disruptive. Distorted Future. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may have your opponent shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 3 cards. And then Synchro Shot does 90 damage, plus 90 more damage if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. There are some cards that the Pokemon Company prints, and it feels like they're printing them straight into Gym Leader Challenge format. This card, not really playable in standard format. You could, like, I suppose you could set up Gothitelle with Air Balloon so that, like, after your opponent takes knockouts, you just kind of promote it just to use its ability and then retreat it. And if Iono does, in fact, rotate out of standard format, then maybe, you know, like, maybe. I'm not saying never say never, right? Like, sure, I actually think the format is in a really cool place when you get to have these different, like, thin stage 2 lines that do things. I'm not, like, super hopeful that standard format is going to get to a place where you're playing, like, a really thin, teched out stage 2 line in order to do something schnasty, like limit your opponent to a 3-card hand. But I'm not writing it off entirely. It certainly could be a thing. This card is just pretty decent in Gym Leader Challenge format, though. You've already got the Iron Boulder, which is seeing play in a ton of Psychic decks. It's one of the strongest Psychic Pokemon printed recently. Does 170 damage for Psychic and a colorless energy if you can match hand sizes with your opponent. And then with Gothitelle, you have another tool to help you match hand sizes with your opponent. And then Synchro Shot, also a very good attack. 180 damage for 2 energy if you have matched hand sizes. And the fact that you can do 90 damage even if you don't have matched hand sizes, which is something that Iron Boulder can't do. So, pretty neat card for Gym Leader Challenge format. If Standard gets to a point where there's no hand disruption, like, maybe, but you'll probably just find other ways to hand disrupt. Maybe just play Judge instead. I really don't I don't see the format cooling out to a point in Standard where you could actually set up a stage 2 and successfully disrupt your opponent that way. And then the big blue jellyfish, Jellicent EX. It's got the Oceanic Curse ability. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards or Pokemon tool cards from their hand. It also has the Power Press attack for a Psychic and a Colorless, does 80 damage, and if this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached, it does 80 more damage, so 160 for 4. It is a very expensive attack. However, Gardevoir EX does not care about that because Gardevoir EX can accelerate as many Psychic energy from the discard pile as it wants into play every single turn, thanks to its Psychic Embrace ability. And Jellicent EX has got a retreat cost of 3, so it's not like those energy are going to get stranded on Jellicent either, as Jellicent can pretty much always retreat them off, and accelerating all those energy to Jellicent and placing the damage counters with the effect of Psychic Embrace is not even a bad thing, because you can just use Monkey Dory to Adrenabrain those damage counters onto your opponent's Pokemon. And what's even better is that Frillish is not skipping out on the whole item lock fun. It's also got the Oceanic Gloom attack, which does 20 damage and makes it so your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand during their next turn. See, I was reading, I retweeted, I think, a tweet. I retweeted a tweet, I think from Daiichi, where he was talking about, yes. I saw this Twitter thread, which I thought was pretty insightful, from Daiichi Tamai over in Japan. And they said, if you're thinking of using Gardevoir at a tournament, whether you should play the Jellicent version or another variant depends on the meta that you expect. Jellicent shuts down 3 main things: Counter Catcher, Rare Candy, and reusing cards from the discard pile. Jellicent is especially strong against decks that rely on these, such as straight Gardevoir and Goldengo. However, if you expect to face a lot of Dark-type Pokemon like Grimmsnarl, Charizard, or Zoroark, Jellicent won't be very helpful with that. In that case, it's better to use deck space for big attacks like Charm plus Drifloon, or techs like Espathra. If you're unsure what decks you'll be facing, I recommend sticking with straight Gardevoir. So, I do think that Jellicent will be a popular way to play Gardevoir EX decks, but I liked that little tweet thread because it was very clear about what Jellicent is good at and what Jellicent kind of falls short of. So if you're expecting to face a lot of darkness type decks, Jellicent is not going to help you a ton with that, as it doesn't really have the firepower to help you deal with it. I would then expect, more Bravery, Charm, Drifloon style Gardevoir decks to be popular into a darkness type meta. But if you're playing against Rare Candy based decks, opposing Gardevoir decks, Goldengo, then Jellicent will be very good against those decks and probably just, be extremely advantageous in those matchups. Another old card that's gotten a fun buff, Terrakion. It's got 140 hit points and the Retaliate attack. It says if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 80 more damage. So 130 damage for 2 energy. The old Terrakion did 90 damage when a Pokemon was knocked out, which was enough to knock out the biggest, baddest darkness Pokemon at the time, Darkrai EX. This Terrakion isn't going to be knocking out squat with Retaliate. I'm going to be honest. So I'm not very impressed. But in Gym Leader Challenge format, this is actually a substantial upgrade. as 130 damage is going to be knocking out quite a few things. So this card could see some play in GLC format. New Zoroark is here. It's got 120 hit points and both the Mind Jack and Foul Play attacks. Now, Mind Jack and Foul Play are both attacks that have been on Zoroark's past. Good ones. But they have never both been featured on the same card until now. Now, this Mind Jack attack is a little bit less powerful than the one from Breakthrough. However, it does cost less energy, so we forgive that. It's only 10 damage less than the Zoroark from the X and Y era. It does 30 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if your opponent has a full bench, that's 150 damage for just 1 energy. And then Foul Play allows you to choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. It does cost 3 colorless energy, which is more than the original Zoroark from Black and White base set, which could Foul Play for just 2 colorless energy. However, we've got Ignition energy now, so I suspect that that's what the game designers had in mind when printing this attack. This Zoroark is a pretty decent Stage 1 Pokemon, and I expect it to see play in Darkness-type Gym Leader Challenge decks. I've even thought quite extensively about some sort of Stage 1 Toolbox deck in Standard format. However, I don't think that the time is right in Standard for a Stage 1 Toolbox style deck. I mean, you could have a deck that relies on Luminous energy and plays like Zoroark and Caracosta and stuff like that, but ultimately these Pokemon just aren't really doing enough to combat the big bad Pokemon of Standard right now. Your Stage 2 Pokemon EX with over 300 hit points, it's not really strong enough to be able to compete with those top decks, I don't think. Mandibuzz is kind of interesting. It's got the Look for Prey ability. Once during your turn, you can use this ability. Your opponent reveals their hand, and you can put a basic Pokemon with 70 hit points or less that you find there onto your opponent's bench. If you're playing some sort of spread-oriented strategy where you're trying to pick off little Pokemon on your opponent's bench, this could be good. But is it worth setting up a Stage 2 Pokemon to do all of that? Probably not, right? Probably not. I don't really think it's going to be worth it, but it's at least interesting. It's worth thinking about. This Purloin could be the new optimal Purloin in Gym Leader Challenge format. It's got a great attack, Invite Evil. Search your deck for up to 3 dark Pokemon and put them into your hand. Very strong. It does come at the cost of this Purloin only having 60 hit points, though, which means that it can be chased down early by Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt can do 60 damage to a bench Pokemon for just 1 double dragon energy. And Purloin is your most important basic that evolves in the Dark GLC deck, since it evolves into Liepard, which is the deck's consistency engine. So this is a strong attack. However, it comes at the cost of Purloin only having 60 hit points. So I could definitely see quite a few Dark decks choosing to play this Purloin. But I could also see quite a few decks kind of fearing the potential of Raging Bolt and opting for a 70 hit point Purloin instead. Hydreigon EX. 330 hit point Stage 2 Pokemon with the Greedy Eater ability. If your opponent's basic Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack used by this Pokemon, take 1 more prize card. Oh my goodness. If only it had a good usable attack. Dark Bite. 200 damage for the low cost of 3 Darkness energy and 2 colorless energy. During your opponent's next turn, The defending Pokemon can't retreat. 5 energy to do 200 damage. Is it worth it? No, of course not. Of course it's not worth it. It's too much energy. It's too much, just too much, okay? Like, are you really going to get Grimmsnarl EX and punk up onto Hydreigon? And it only takes an extra prize if it's a basic Pokemon? Like, are you really going to put a 101 Hydreigon line in your Grimmsnarl deck? I don't think so. It accelerates to Marnie. You can't even do that. Grimmsnarl only accelerates to Marnie's Pokemon. I take it back. Nah, this card's bad. Card's bad. Bad card's bad. Sorry, guys. Too much energy. Too expensive. We go next. Bouffalant EX, 220 HP. The Boofer ability makes it so that Bouffalant takes 30 less damage from attacks. And then Goldbreaker does 100 damage. And if it's a Pokemon, and if it's up against a Pokemon EX, does 100 more damage. More like Bocalant EX. Am I right? Brave Bengal makes it so that if the Pokemon this card is attached to doesn't have a rule box, the attacks it uses do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So that's good, right? It's really good. And will allow single prize Pokemon to trade a little bit better with Pokemon EX. It's very evident that rule box Pokemon like Pokemon EX have been getting buffed at a higher rate than their single prize counterparts over the years. And Brave Bengal honestly only allows those single prize Pokemon to do 30 more damage to Pokemon EX, which is something that was printed forever ago during the X and Y era. Silver Bengal, right? Or is that black and white? Silver Bengal. Plasma Blast. Goodness. And honestly, Silver Bengal was printed in 2013, Plasma Blast, and it gave the same buff to single prize Pokemon back then. So now 12 years later, we've got Brave Bengal, which gives single prize Pokemon the same buff that they were given 12 years ago. But if you were to put like the strength of multi-prize Pokemon on a graph compared to their single prize counterparts, like the graph would be like this, okay? The graph, yeah, the multi-prize Pokemon have improved at a rate like this, while the single prize Pokemon have improved at a much more mellow rate. So as that gulf has kind of widened over the years, the buff that the single prize Pokemon has remained the same. It's kind of like how even though the cost of living has remained the same in the United States, or it's kind of like how the cost of living has inflated dramatically over the years in the United States, but the minimum wage has stayed the exact same. It's kind of like that, if you think about it. As a data analyst, the backwards graph bothers me. Well, to me, the graph was done correctly. But to you guys at home, it's backward. Like, I understand. To me, this is backwards. Right? Because we're mirrored. Do you see? So for me, this is how a graph would look, like this. Yeah, it's forwards to me. Hilda looks like it's going to be a great new supporter card. Allows you to search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and an energy card and put them into your hands. So just a great versatile card, can help you to search out evolution Pokemon while also getting a necessary energy that you need from your deck in order to power up your Pokemon. And we already see a lot of tutoring style supporters being played in standard format right now, like Brock Scouting and whatever that other card is that searches out multiple evolution Pokemon. Clearly don't play enough standard. What is it? Jacques. Yep. We're already seeing a lot of tutoring style supporters. There's already a lot of tutoring style supporters that are seeing play in standard right now, like Brock Scouting and Jacques. And Hilda is going to go perfect in a lot of decks. Imagine being able to play Hilda in your Dragapult EX deck to go get Dracloak while also getting the necessary energy that you need to be able to attack. Similarly, you could go search out Dragapult EX and the energy that you need to be able to attack. You could go get Neo Upper Energy and a Dragapult EX. You could go get Gardevoir EX and a Darkness Energy that you need to attach to Monkey Dory. You could go get a Charizard EX and, you guessed it, the Darkness Energy that you need to attach to Monkey Dory. You could also go and get any sort of cool evolution Pokemon that you want and the brand new Ignition Energy, right? Which is a strong new special energy card from White Flare, which provides a single colorless energy, unless it's attached to an evolution Pokemon, in which case it provides 3 colorless energy instead. The energy only lasts for a single turn and it gets discarded. But Ignition Energy can allow you to instantly power up an attack on an evolved Pokemon that you otherwise would not have access to. So a pretty strong card. It's going to make certain attacks usable that would otherwise be too difficult to power up right away. I mean, kind of thinking about Zoroark's Foul Play attack. That Foul Play attack's pretty tough to power up, but with Ignition Energy, very easy. And since Zoroark is a single prize Pokemon, you don't really care that the energy is getting discarded because, let's be honest, you're never expecting a Pokemon with 120 hit points to live in the active spot for more than a single turn anyways. More often than not, it's going to get knocked out. So the energy getting discarded at the end of the turn, really good for single prize decks and single prize Pokemon like that Zoroark, but this Ignition Energy can work on multi-prize Pokemon like Pokemon EX as well. So I do expect Ignition Energy to see some play. Notably, it is a strict upgrade on Triple Acceleration Energy, since Ignition Energy can be attached to a basic Pokemon. So you could do something like attach Ignition Energy to a basic Pokemon, play Professor's Research, evolve that basic Pokemon, and then activate Ignition Energy's 3 colorless energy effect. With Triple Acceleration Energy, it literally could not be attached to a non-evolved Pokemon. So it could not be attached to a non-evolution Pokemon. So Ignition Energy is a bit stronger than Triple Acceleration Energy from formats past. And all in all, there's some pretty cool... Oh, yeah. Dang, I almost forgot about Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper's back, too. Holy smokes. We've got some tool removal returning to standard format. Tool Scrapper. Choose up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to Pokemon, yours or your opponent's, and discard them. Tool Scrapper going to be a welcome addition to standard format, like Lost Vacuum before it, and Field Blower before that, and Startling Megaphone before that, and Tool Scrapper before that. Having item cards that remove tool cards, it's kind of a classic function in the Pokemon TCG, and Tool Scrapper is the first one of them to get Is the first one of them to get a full reprint? Not really. Lost Vacuum had multiple reprints. Yeah. And Tool Scrapper is returning in White Flare. So means you're going to have an option to remove those annoying tools from your opponent's Pokemon if you wish. Yeah, so that about does it for the review of Black Bolt and White Flare. Let me know in the comments below which Black Bolt and White Flare cards you are most looking forward to building your own decks around. Thank you so much for watching the video, and make sure to check out the sponsors, FullGripGames.com for all the best Pokemon trading card game singles and sealed product, as well as DragonShield.com for all the best sleeves and accessories. You can use code TrickyJim at DragonShield.com for 5% off your order. Shopping at FullGripGames.com and DragonShield.com directly support the content that I create here on Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all take it easy and have a great day. See ya. All right, folks. That does it for the daytime stream. Okay, set review done. Pack opening done. I will see you all tonight for Gym Leader Challenge stream here at Full Grip Games. GLC night, GLC League night happening tonight. The final GLC tournament of the season. Our season resets next week, and it should be a lot of fun. So next week, the new sets are going to be legal as well. Black Bolt and White Flare. So if you want to see some new Black Bolt and White Flare action, GLC next week, that'll be a thing. All right, you guys take it easy.